Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the Woodridge Parents Podcast. My name is Daniel Staley, and this is my lovely wife, Kelly.
Hello.
Hi. So we are two youngish parents from Woodridge, New Jersey. I guess if you'd be watching this outside of New Jersey, that I guess we're doing really good at that point. But let's take steps at a time here. So we are two parents from Woodridge. We have two wonderful, beautiful little boys in school. We have Daniel in first grade, and then we have our boy Johnny, but he goes to pre-K 4 in another town, which is the town where my wife is from. Tell us a little about yourself, Kelly.
Well, I grew up in Lyndhurst. I went to St. Michael's Elementary School. They are no longer around. Then went to Queen of Peace in Arlington. No longer around. And then I ventured into Caldwell University, where I got all my teaching degrees. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I never really thought about that. Like, is Caldwell the only one that's still
around? Yes, it
I mean,
is.
geez Louise, we shouldn't be buying too much stock in Caldwell University, huh?
Oh, no, they're really good, though. They're good. I do love them.
The Cougars?
Yes, the Cougars.
Do you think there's any, like, older ladies going back for their degrees at Caldwell who would be an official Caldwell Cougar?
I don't know. I mean, like when I went,
there definitely is, right?
Oh, no, yeah. When I went back for some of my stuff, I was usually the youngest one there with 0 kids. Going back for my master's and stuff. A lot of them were a little bit older.
That were working for a while.
And here comes this newbie, like maybe thinking she's tough.
They found their husband and then had a little extra couple bucks, or I don't know. Let's mark that one to maybe cut down. Mark that one. All right. So my name is Daniel Staley. I am from Woodridge, a Woodridgian, probably a townie of some sort. My parents both went to Woodridge High School. My grandparents bought this house, I believe, in like 63 or 65. We've still been here. Hopefully going to be here for a while longer. I'm going to figure out some sort of way to, we've discussed this before, but we'll figure out some sort of way to put the house in a trust so the kids can't sell it. And then just sell the house to BlackRock and then just go live in an apartment and never get a house back. So we're really big on keeping the property in the family. So, yeah, that's a good way to do it. So, Kelly,
yes.
What are we going to be doing with this podcast mostly?
Pretty much just telling people about the events that will be happening in town, because everyone's crazy lives. It's kind of hard to put everything on a calendar if you know.
It's funny because like there's people like when I pick up Daniel who was like, oh, I didn't know that such and such was happening, cheerleading or soccer or football.
I know, that's sad.
And I mean, listen, it's not necessarily all kind of bundled up in one spot. It is sort of, but it could be a little bit easier to figure out. I'd have to get in touch with somebody in the recreation board.
Maybe, yeah. No, it's definitely a little hard to kind of know everything that's going on. I know in Lyndhurst they put everything up like by like where the Little League field is, like all websites. They also do it by the schools too. So like when you're dropping kids off for school, there's always a website to go to, and they always say like T-ball registration, cheerleading registration.
Yeah,
so
but like even like when I went to the Woodridge website to look for. Like, they do have a calendar, and it has, like, all the town meetings and stuff like that, but I feel like the recreation stuff should be on that town calendar. Well,
and two, within the school district, which, like where I work, there are always notices going home when there's open tryouts. And not only open tryouts, but, like, when, like, the registration for soccer.
A paper in their folder going home?
It does. And do you want to know what? I know you're about the digital world, but when parents go through their children's folders, it will give them, oh, wait a second, maybe I have to go onto this website. It will give them a second chance, and the kids are always talking about it in school.
Assuming that all the parents are going through that folder.
But, I mean, they should be. I know it's hard to all the time, but it's always good to have something a little extra just to remind you.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know if I finished my little intro or whatever.
Oh, sorry.
So I went to Woodridge, graduated 2002, a little bit older than my lovely wife, little bit.
Yeah, a whole year and 3 months.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's 2 years. 1 year in school years, right? You're below me.
Yep.
I'm the owner of Jan Promotions, Inc. You might have seen that around town. Got my shirts here. I have partnered with a Mr. Jack Nagel. You've definitely seen him around if you're involved in the Lions Club or the Woodard Memorial Foundation or many other different ventures that Jack is involved in. Jan Promotions does all type of promotional products, from branded apparel to anything with your logo on it, from mugs, bags, pens, hats, signs, literally anything you would like your logo on it, we do it. Also do a little podcast production, obviously this podcast production here, but also the New Jersey Multi-Species podcast, which is New Jersey's #1 fishing podcast, hosted by Joe Santiago and Chris Pereira. I am just the producer on that. I've never actually fished in my life. Technically, I fished like twice, but that was probably 25 years ago. But it's doing well. We actually make a couple bucks off of it. It's got over 4,000 subscribers on YouTube, so definitely check that out. And do a little coaching. We coach all the boys' t-ball teams, football. We'll see how that goes. Well, that's a whole nother story. That'll be for the Patreon episode of the podcast. Hopefully, we'll be able to get big enough to do a after dark, quote unquote, podcast where we could talk a little bit more about people we don't like. And just throw it on out there and see how that goes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're probably not going to end up doing that because, I still have to make some moves, but, we'll see how that goes. Basketball is coming up. I'm big into basketball, the locals.
Yes, you are.
So we will be doing, kind of touching on all the sports, all the academic schedules, all the town schedules. Sports, as of right this second, is kind of in a transition period between the fall and winter sports. So the recreation sports, basketball and wrestling, I know those have started or are beginning to start. So if you do want to get your son or daughter, especially son or daughter in wrestling now too.
I saw that actually.
Try to get involved, try to get in touch with Jackie Goldklang or the recreation department now. I know basketball is starting as well. I believe that's from 2nd grade up.
Yes.
And then I think he said, I don't know if it's 2nd and 3rd but at least 2nd grade when you start, it's basically more of like a clinic and
like instructional
an
type
ongoing
of thing.
Camp kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. I mean, I coached travel basketball even before we had kids, like the 7th and 8th grade teams. And you'd go to some of these games and there'd be other games before or after. And you'd have like a 3rd grade team or 2nd grade team and they were playing on like 10-foot rims.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is just silly. Like, I don't understand why they're even doing this. Scores would be like 8-4. Like, it'd be like, we're wasting our time here. This is terrible.
I mean, it's good to get them used to it because, I mean, like, that's like fine motor and gross motor skills.
Yeah,
so it's
but
like a combination.
They should be playing on a lower rim at that point.
Absolutely, yeah. They can't put lower on there just for them? It won't actually go?
No, they do. I guess just that league or whatever.
Oh, all right.
But, yeah, so, I mean, we're in a transition for the high school sports now. I guess bowling has actually already started. Bowling might be the first one. I mean, how much practice do you really need to get in for bowling? Like, you're bowling.
Fun fact. My mom was actually on the bowling team at Queen of Peace.
Really?
She was a handicap. I don't know what that is.
Is that the good one?
No,
or the
I don't know.
one?
I honestly, judging from Joy's athletic ability, I love you, Mom. But I think like they kind of like brought her in like when they were in like a close match or something. I'm not really sure.
But why would they?
I have to ask. I'm not really sure, but I know that she told me they were like, I don't know if she was like the ringer. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I have to ask her about that, but
bowling's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it is kind of crazy that that's like a varsity sport too. We had some good boulders. Shout out to Mark Medowski, old Woodridge guy. He is actually a fisherman too. He's been on the New Jersey Multi-Species
I think you
podcast
should take
before.
up fishing.
Dude, so I don't have anything against fishing. And this is probably will eventually end up being a video on the NJ Multi-Species podcast on YouTube and Spotify. Subscribe now. But I, as you well know, don't really love the water. I don't love the
life jacket on you.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah, in the ocean, life jacket.
But you don't have to fish from a boat. You can fish from a dock too.
Right.
That could be a nice little
it's kind of like
intro.
So it's becoming like it's kind of like seen as less of fishing if you fish from the land.
Oh, well, it's okay.
Well, sure. Yeah. Again, I have no problem whatsoever fishing from the dock or the fucking land, whatever, the beach.
How about like a big boat though?
No.
Do the little boats scare you still?
Are you kidding
I
me?
know, but I'm just saying.
Water, I'm petrified of the water.
The water.
The Smithtown Water Department. That's a shout out to History High News. Nobody really gets it. That's okay. Yeah, no, I can't do it, dude. I can't. If I go on a boat and we start going like this, it's over. Like I'm gonna
lights out.
Yeah, I can't do it. And then I will be it'll be a great video. We'll get millions of views on that. But I would be just so angry I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So I don't know. But bowling, wrestling. What do you think about girls wrestling? Now that you're
Honestly,
we both do judo and jiu-jitsu. Kelly has actually surpassed me in jiu-jitsu belt stripes so far, but she just does jiu-jitsu. I do judo, but whatever.
Oh wow. Okay.
Do you think if wrestling was a thing when you were at Queen of Peace, you would have thought about doing it? And again, you have to get it. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but like, don't think about it as of like you then, like
me now. You think?
No, but I mean like you then, but now. Like it's not like looked down upon. It's like whatever.
See,
and you didn't do anything in the winter either.
I did. Well, I worked, but. Sports wise, no, I did nothing. Do I think maybe that would have benefited me? Absolutely.
Now, wrestling, there's nothing that gets you in better shape than wrestling.
Yeah, one of my friends at jiu-jitsu, she's actually a wrestling coach in high school. I don't remember what high school she works at, but I think it's either like Bayonne or I'm not sure. Yeah. But she's a purple belt, and her girls are really good. I mean, I think if I did do it, I think I probably would have been like, I was in good shape in high school anyway, but I think I would have been in better shape and a little bit more aggressive when it came to my soccer and softball. I mean, I was aggressive anyway, but I think it would have put me over the edge with it, honestly. But again, I mean, 20 something years ago, it was,
what's your high school sports resume?
4 years starting varsity for soccer. And for softball, I played JV for my freshman year and then 3 years for varsity for softball. Third base.
Nice.
Third and first. I like the corners.
I'm sure I could eventually figure out some sort of slightly dirty joke about that, but we'll figure it out eventually.
It is a clean program now.
Is it really? Like, I don't even have any shoes on. They're my sockies. Which I didn't even realize. I was looking at the one camera of me and then not realizing that my feet were all like in the other camera, but that's okay. That's all right. So sports-wise, we're pretty much locked up for now. We are going to do this episode weekly, so we'll be able to pick up on that. There's some basketball scrimmages, something like that. Looks like the actual season on basketball begins maybe the 14th, if that's a game. No, that looks like a scrimmage. And then maybe the 17th. 17th looks like that starts basketball. And then they do have the Woodridge Christmas Tournament, which is always a fun time in basketball. I think it's up to like 5 to... No, it's got to be 6 teams now. Always used to be like... Oh my God, I think there was like 3 at one time. But that's actually a good time. I know Waldwick's in it this year.
That's good.
So I used to coach with Coach Rock up at Waldwick. Coach Rock is Coach Eddie Renzio. He used to be the coach at Woodridge. It's got to be 8-9 years now. He's been up at Waldwick. Our friend of the show, Coach Jimmy Maher. He's the head basketball coach. His brother Jack is the head football coach at Beckton, and then also like the JV coach there. So it's a nice intertangling of coaching. I'm not really sure how their team is looking this year. To be completely honest, I was focused on Waldwick for a while. I am no longer there coaching really anywhere now, but Waldwick is going to have a really good team this year, so it's going to be exciting to see. Hopefully Woodridge will beat them though. So And then by next year, Daniel will be starting in the program, and
Yes, he will.
we'll say about 4 to 6 years down the line, we'll be fully entrenched in the Woodridge youth basketball program.
In every youth program.
No, let's hope
because we have
so.
the 2 boys.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
With football, basketball, and baseball. Mm-hmm. God, baseball.
Perhaps maybe wrestling also. You don't know if they can do doubles. We'll see.
You can't really do doubles, dude.
Okay. What was a thought?
And dude, trust me, I get it. And I love them doing judo, and I love them doing jiu-jitsu. And would it probably benefit them to wrestle? Yeah, probably. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. But at the end of the day, I never wrestled. I don't really know anything about that.
That's the thing, yeah.
I have played and coached and loved basketball. I know I'm like kind of average size white guy, so that's probably wasn't in my benefit long term. But it is probably the sport I know the most about. So,
of course.
I mean, once they start dribbling a ball and we're doing, we're doing Maravich drills and some Mikan drills, I got a lot of stuff lined up for them.
Boy.
So if they think,
get ready.
If they think we've been taking judo and football and baseball serious,
they have no
they
idea.
Got another thing coming.
No idea.
Although to be fair, I don't take baseball too serious. I'm sorry, Phil.
I do.
I love you.
I like baseball.
Yeah, I know, dude.
I
but
do.
And that's why you're the T-ball coach, and you help out as much as possible because I couldn't have done it myself.
Oh, thanks.
These lunatic. Wow. As much as I love you, it was more about these lunatic children. I assumed I was going to be able to kind of brute force my way into it.
Okay. About behavior? Yeah.
Yeah. Just didn't work too much, but that's
I
all
have
right.
the teacher voice.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I have a pretty good coach voice, and I get them to listen. But you
depends the age.
It's really you snapped them into place pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Kelly. Do we have any town happenings and events?
Yes, we do actually. So, okay, so we're gonna go with first the community events, and then we'll go to the schools.
Okay.
On December 8th at 1:30, they're having the Jersey Jubilation at the Woodridge Historical Society. It's a concert. Assumption Church is also having a breakfast with Santa on December 15th from 8:30 to 12:30, which I know the children really enjoy. Now going to kind of with the schools. The PTA is doing a holiday boutique at the intermediate school on December 6th. They're also doing a breakfast with Santa again, but they didn't really tell me like when and where. But it's I'm sure they'll be coming out in the schools.
Same with the Santa Claus driving around town, right?
Yeah, well, last night I actually texted 2 people about that because we all heard fire engines and the boys were getting very, very nervous because they thought there was going to be a big fire in town. Right. And it was actually the Wallington Santa Parade, which kind of makes sense.
I've never been, but it's supposedly like a big deal.
Yeah.
So I don't,
Yeah. And yeah, my friend Crystal told me it was a really good job and we're going to be doing it next year with them.
Good.
FYI. Okay. There is a Board of Education meeting at 7 p.m. And the PTA Holiday Boutique for Doyle is actually on December 11th. That's all day.
Was that a Lyndhurst thing where like all you teachers used to go to the Board of Ed meetings, or is the Woodridge Board of Ed meetings filled with teachers too?
Honestly, that's when I was single with no children. Now that I have children and a husband, unless I have to go to something, I will make it happen. Got time for that? No one's got time for that. No one has time for that. We're all very busy in school. And that was some Doyle updates just because our children do. Daniel does go to a Doyle. Their holiday concerts are going to be within not this week coming up, but next week. The kindergartens on December 12th, as well as second grade, and the first and third grade is on December 13th. I know there are picture retakes for school pictures on the 16th of December, and early dismissal for Christmas break is actually going to be on the 20th at 12:28. Then they have their week-long Christmas vacation from December 23rd up until January 1st. School opens on January 2nd.
Wait, I'm confused. You said the break starts on the 20th, but they get off on the 23rd? Or what were you saying?
No, because the 20th is actually a Friday. So actually they have school that day. They have a half a day. And then the Monday, which I have to go to school for, they're off the entire week up until, the following January 2nd where they have to be back in school.
Oh, so that's like a whole It's a whole week off.
It's a little nice break this year, I think, too.
Is
like
that
how
the
it
maximum,
fell.
or
No.
can it? What if it was a Thursday? Thursday, you get the Friday and the week.
It depends on the actual school calendar, on like which days, like if you want to kind of like push those days, but it all depends.
Right.
So that's a nice little thing for them.
Oh, good. So we'll get, since we're appeasing to all the parents of there, we'll get some middle school and high school stuff.
Yeah. Well, actually, the district. Well, that's actually district. So, like when they're coming, like on the 20th is actually a half day for Doyle, intermediate, and high school, and then they will have the same district break. So that's actually for all 3 levels of school.
Speaking of the high school, we do have I'm a member of the Woodridge Lions Club, and we've been having some really great interactions and times with the Woodridge Lions. I think it's the Woodridge Lions Leos Club.
The Leos, yeah.
It might be the Woodridge Leos Club. I don't know. It's like the Little Lions.
Oh, the little lions.
Yeah. So we have now in Woodridge High School a Leos Club. So it's basically an extension of our Lions Club, who does charitable donations and different fundraising outings. Our famous Woodridge Lions beefsteak that we have annually, between 400 to 500 people. The Lions on average raise about $30,000 to $40,000 a year towards charity. Pound for pound, we're probably one of the biggest Lions clubs, although we are from one of these smaller towns. So considering our population size and our actual numbers of Lions members, we might be the number 1 pound for pound Lions club in the state. And we do a really good job. And now we have a group of the high schoolers linked in with it, who have been assisting us in all types of things, like the blind seals deliveries. You get the letters at the house with the little blind seals, and you can send a donation back to us. Those donations have been really great this year so far, so thank you to everyone who sent donations back in. The Leos actually helped us out with the can shake this year, which was great, because I just kind of had to supervise, and the Leos kind of held the door and held the can and did the shake.
Nice.
And not for nothing, I think people probably do give money to kids more than they do to like old crusty guys like us.
Absolutely.
So it was good. It was good. Shout out to Mrs. DiNapoli. So she's the head of the Leos Club there. So she's been really awesome. She's helped us out in all types of different situations, especially with the Memorial Foundation. I guess it's got to be public if they made the public announcement at the school. So Mr. Schwartz is going to be one of the Memorial Foundation honorees this year, who's Daniel's first grade teacher.
He loves her.
He really does love her. She's a sweetheart. I guess maybe once this is published, we'll figure this out. And I haven't actually just asked her yet. She did go to school in Woodridge, a little higher in graduating year.
She was your counselor, correct?
Yeah, so I don't want to say she's older than me, but she's older. So yeah, she was my rec counselor. And like I do remember, but then I don't remember what her maiden name was. So I kind of forget. So I will eventually ask her, and if one of you guys see this and know the answer, by all means, let us know. Let's see, anything else school and calendar related?
No, that's all I could really find. So that was that's enough.
Yeah, no, I agree. And sports-wise, we're kind of locked up on there too. All right, Kelly, we have the winter breaks coming up. What do you have to give suggestions to, we'll say, Doyle student parents in the prep coming up to that time? Because I'm sure they're probably crazy and they're trying to finish things in school with the kids. The closer and closer they get to Christmas time, I can only imagine how further away they are mentally.
Yeah.
So what are some tips for parents to prep themselves in going up to the holiday time, and then how to kind of keep things sharp during the holiday time?
Okay, so routine is key. I would say, and again, I'm going to be doing this with our kids, so I'm right there with you. I would say that routine is key. I mean, try to keep their eating schedule as close to possible as their lunch and snack time in school, because that's basically what they're used to, I like to dedicate at least to be, realistic, I would say an hour of reading time, but that's not going to happen. I would say at least like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and then just, reading, reading to themselves, go to the library. I know that, if you're wondering what type of reading level the children are on, there's this website called scholasticwizard.com. And you can ask your child's teacher what their reading level is, and if you type the book title into this website, it'll actually show you what reading level it is. So you can actually get reading levels from the bookstore just for your child. There's also something called Raz on the on
Is that
online.
what Danny reads all the books on his tablet on?
No, he's actually on Raz, which what I was getting to right now. Yes. So I use that for my students. They have to do at least 20 minutes per day of reading for me, where I can actually check on their levels and check on their consistency with it. But yeah, so that actually has quizzes, cause and effect, has all different types of elements that they can be tested on just to kind of like sharpen their skills with that. I also suggest just like getting them like a little like writing journal, a little marble notebook you get from dollar store or whatever, and just have them write like what they're doing today.
Journaling, huh?
Journaling. Well, I do journaling with my children in my classroom every single day. And
shout out to Joe Metcalf. Joey Met's big on the journaling.
But it's really good. I mean, because it focuses, it channels in on their ideas, and they can journal about anything as long as they're writing, and then they can read back and just kind of see their progression throughout the week.
And like writing, like with their hands and like a writing utensil,
like a pencil, yes, especially for younger students to
Oh, this is me using a pencil.
Well, that's what they do in school.
I know.
And that alone, strengthens their fine motor skills, and that will help them in the future for even like their sports.
Right, but like, how soon can we get the kids typing? Like, can we?
You can't go. You cannot do typing unless you have those fine motor skills in place already, because it's all about finger muscles.
So yes, obviously you need the fine motor skills, but is writing the best way to get fine motor skills? What about playing Roblox for 8 hours a day?
No. That can be a supplemental for it, but you need to be able to write and take notes and focus on one task at a time, not just graphics.
That probably goes more into the question, like, should we just pull the kids out of school and just have them play video games?
Wow. No.
You don't think that's... No?
No.
Okay.
Because with video games, correct me if I'm wrong, you're looking at a screen. Yes, you have to figure out tactics, but you need to be able to, develop those comprehension skills. You have to be able to read a document, and that is not teaching you with that on video games. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but children need to use the basics.
Pretty in depth.
Children need to learn the basics in order to get to certain levels.
I know. I'm just joshing. Mm-hmm. But like, you see these kids in their video games these days, Kelly.
But there's also educational video games they can do too on their tablets, which I like also.
I mean, the craziest part is like with all the streaming and stuff now, like even like where Kai Cenat was just on that big like 30-day stream test. Do you even know who Kai Cenat is?
Nope, I don't. Sorry.
Like Kai Cenat like barely even plays video games. He just does like streaming where he's just kind of hanging out and like talking. I've showed you like all these clips like constantly.
How old is this person?
He's like 22, 23 now.
Okay, but...
Right, but only imagine if he started when he was 7. He'd be like a billionaire. Come on now, hey. Right.
We agree to disagree.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I was a video game prodigy when I was in high school. Mm-hmm. Won some money, which I won $1,000 junior year of high school, which in today's money that probably been like $100,000. I missed the first football game for that junior year when I started.
Interesting.
Oh,
okay.
God, yeah, that was... Hey, listen, I got, it was a ballsy move. I got a set because if I hadn't won any money, I would have been
Yeah, seriously.
like, listen, I was really good, and I was ranked like high in the country, like in top 5. So like, unless I played a lot, and I played all the top guys who were good all the time. So like, I kind of knew what the deal was, and like, unless some kid came out of the woodworks, like early on, I wasn't going to lose. I ended up playing 3 of the guys who I knew. I played 2 of them, and I beat the one, and then I lost to the guy who won the whole thing.
Okay.
And this was, I'm pretty sure, I want to say the year 2000. Because then junior year was 2001. So it was the year 2000, Unreal Tournament, one-on-one death match. And first place was 10 G's, dude.
Okay.
Second place was 2 G's. Third place was a G, which I got. And first and second both got a free trip to Korea afterwards to continue competing.
Just missed it.
I know.
You just missed it.
I know. Those top 2 kids were really good, though. Like, it would have been an upset for the generations if I would have took that down, but it would have been possible, and it was good. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that was 24 years ago, and now you see all this money for all these kids winning money, which is actually kind of the craziest part, which nobody really talks about very much. Like, it's actually fallen off a lot. Like, I feel like 5 years ago or so, probably before COVID, there was a lot of money going into these things, and like nobody really talks as much about it. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know, but like Fortnite and Call of Duty, I know Call of Duty is a league and Fortnite is like leagues and shit, but excuse me, I know I'm not supposed to be cursing on this. This is a family-friendly podcast, so. Well, you could already hear the boys jumping and fittering around. We did tell them if they were good boys, we would give them a 5-minute podcast, which I can only imagine what they're going to actually say, but we'll see how that goes. So we talked on parenting, we talked on the town, we talked on school. Anything Bergen County related? Anything with Lyndhurst? Christmas festival? When's the Christmas festival in Lyndhurst?
I'm thinking it's the 9th. Again, I'm not 100%. I can probably find it real fast.
The 9th is a Thursday. What day was it going to be? I mean, I could probably look it up.
Yeah.
Lyndhurst.
And there's a big banner like right across, like the town hall.
Holiday opening and makers market.
It's holiday in the park, I think it is.
Trying to ask Christmas in the park.
Oh, there you go, Christmas in the park. Just kidding.
Mayor Jan Geruso and the Board of Commissioners invite you on December 14th, which is funny. I could have swore it was December 14th. I was going to say that too. Christmas in the Park in Lyndhurst. It is actually a really nice time. We go there with the boys. We intermingle with Kelly's native folks of Lyndhurst. Saturday, December 14th, 5:30 to 9 p.m. at Lyndhurst Town Hall Park. It is a pretty sweet
really
park.
Nice.
I'm going to be honest. It's
nice.
Even, which I had heard they're building some sort of vestibule and park area still down by Westmont. But I don't know if that's ever even going to happen. But I do got to be honest, that park down there in Lyndhurst, the Town Hall Park, is really nice.
It's really nice.
Big. They got a stage. They have all types of fountains. It's pretty sweet.
They actually put the big Christmas tree like on top of the fountain now, like kind of like in the middle. Yeah. But it's really nice. And they're actually doing a lot more construction over there too. They're putting a couple more pickleball courts, thank you. A new basketball court. So I think they're trying to get a lot of it done before that, but I'm not really sure.
Yeah, and they have photos with Santa, tree lighting ceremony, horse and carriage rides, live nativity scene. What's that? What's a live nativity scene? Like, is there like an actual baby sitting there in the cold or wrapped up in the manger?
I'm not sure, but I know that they
seems a little much.
Going. It's probably not a live baby, honestly. It's probably a doll. Or a doll.
All right.
Live
I haven't seen music and dance performances, trackless train rides. Yeah. So like a car.
Yeah, basically they had it last year there. They were going around. That was
the hay rides.
No. We didn't get to go on the train last year because the line was too long.
Yeah. Shout out to that, or be aware of that. FYI, the lines. This place gets kind of crazy.
Yeah, we're going to go there early next year.
They do have free refreshments: hot chocolate, cider, coffee, eggnog, donuts, cookies, and candy. Yeah. Special performances by the Bell Tones. Yeah. A children's character review, a trio of carolers, and more.
It's really nice how they do it.
Yeah, it is pretty sweet. I gotta be honest.
And last year wasn't even that cold, but I feel this year is going to be kind of chilly, so we have to bundle up.
Man, we didn't get any snow last year. I feel like we didn't get much the year before.
We're done.
We had a slow fall winter wise. I know we've been getting rain the past couple of days, but like I think we're gonna get blasted.
The weather's definitely changing right now. Like,
and it's cold like already, dude.
It's not even windy. It's just cold. Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right, Kelly. Do you have anything else to say to our lovely, wonderful guests and viewers?
Not really.
Shout out to any parents. We probably shouldn't give any shout outs because then if we we'll shout out Miss Skolko and Gino and Rocco and Mateo. We have too many other people to shout out. So those are the only people we're going to shout out because Miss Skolko is a teacher. And even more so, I went to kindergarten all the way up through high school with Mrs. Skolko, a.k.a. Ms. Allegretta. So she can get a shout out, but there's so many other people who we give shout out that we're going to end up forgetting people.
Yeah.
And then I'll feel bad, which is the reason I don't really go on Facebook now. The kind of catch-22 of this whole podcast is I am unfortunately probably going to have to dive back into Facebook heavy because the demographics for this podcast is going to be super Facebook. So we'll have an IG, a Facebook, a talk, and everything. Kelly will be doing TikTok dances.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll have that all set up. But what I was gonna say is I don't say happy birthday on Facebook ever. That's like a thing. Because like there's gonna be somebody's birthday every day. So what are you saying? Happy birthday every day to these idiots? Excuse me. I'm sorry. These people, these
getting
friends.
A little loose on here, aren't you?
I know. We should wrap it up soon. Loosey doosey. But yeah, if I miss, and then I'm gonna feel bad. So I don't do it. Which is the same thing and why we're not going to give shout outs on this one.
Okay.
Unless you want to be a sponsor of the Woodridge Parents Podcast, and then we'll give you shout outs all day. Mm-hmm. All day shout outs. We definitely are looking for sponsors for the Woodridge Parents Podcast. There's plenty of opportunity in town here, specifically this being a, what do they call it? Ultra local or micro local, macro local, whatever, because we're really just kind of shooting in one town, a little bit of Lyndhurst overage. So we will be looking for sponsors. Shout out to the Woodridge Lions Club. Shout out to the Woodridge Memorial Foundation. And shout out to Dr. Pantano. I guess that's the only shout out you're getting, Dr. Pantano, until you start cracking off some bucks. You cut off a check.
Wow.
And then we'll give shout outs. We'll throw Pecorelli in there. If you're a 95-year-old Italian person, that's the doctor you should be going to. Pecorelli. Kelly, any shout outs you'd like to close out with? Any Lyndhurst people? Shout out Subforce Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Shout out Subforce Jiu-Jitsu. Shout out Kamal and Cruz Jiu-Jitsu and Judo and Jiu-Jitsu. That's where I go. We do have our tournament December 8th. Oh, a week from today. Jesus
a week,
Christ.
yeah. So
we got 2 more classes in the Saturday class for Daniel.
Yep.
And then I'll have to be working in that tournament all day into the evening. We have our Woodridge Lions Club Christmas dinner that night, which I'm supposed to be kind of helping out with too. So I don't know. We'll see how early I can get out of the tournament.
So are we going or are we not going?
No, I mean, we are almost certainly not going. If anything, I might just go and help out. Which they don't really need helping out, to be honest, but we should wrap up before I start delving into too many things that I really want to get into.
All right.
We did tell the boys that we were going to give them a 5-minute podcast on here. I don't know what they're going to talk about. They said they're going to talk about Among Us and Fortnite and Nerf Blast Roblox. So we'll see how that goes. Otherwise, thank you everybody for watching. Hopefully I didn't screw up the audio or video on this one. And thanks for watching.
Thank you. Bye.
Peace.